How modern women are keeping couples together. That's going to be the title and the topic of today's video. And if you clicked on this, you're probably thinking, how can that be? I thought they were toxic. Well, it's kind of a trick title, although I didn't mean it to be, but I mean that in the sense that, I don't know about you guys, but I know a lot of couples that were together post-pandemic. You know, couples that made it through the pandemic and are still together now, and they see the way the dating market is to the extent that they've actually looked into it. But I think a lot of it is just, you know, people hear about it. It's like in the social sphere, like, you know, people know subconsciously how bad the gender wars and the dating market has gotten. I mean, I was just out last night. There's a girl, beautiful girl, 27, and just angry. I was on the worst date ever. What happened? The guy asked me about my mental health. It's like, wait, the guy asked you about mental health? Like, not an appropriate question. Asked, like, who cares? Was you attracted to him? Did he have a good vibe? Like, and then I even said that. It's like, sorry, I'm going on a bitch mission, but I even said that, like, you know, what is if he's attractive enough, you know, a guy can kind of say anything, which is true. It's vibes. Like, that's what's attractive, at least in historically, confidence and how a guy being himself. And this girl had to like deduce everything. That's another thing. It's a mess. So on that note, as I'm getting excited about the topic, it's such a mess that it's keeping, I mean, it's a positive notion, right? The couples that made it through COVID, I am seeing, Jesus, guy, that they're sticking together. You know, there was a rockiness to the relationship during COVID and a little bit after, and now it's like, even if there's like some hiccups, it's like they see people and how lonely they are, and with these bad breakups and people, you know, doing, I mean, this is kind of like a sequel to the poly video I did and why it doesn't work. And, you know, a lot of these people I know, they were doing that. Like, everyone they didn't say publicly that they were not poly, just like they're not poly anymore. Just like this woman didn't say publicly to me that, yes, I'm right, and it is about looks, because that would make her look bad. You know, people don't do anything that makes them look bad. It's just so, you know, and but, you know, that's why reading between the lines is just such a, yeah, it's a tough world for the Aspergers out here that need direct communication, because there's not a lot of that these days. Jesus, dude. All right, people are driving like idiots. I gotta pay attention for a second. What the hell? I guess like it's old people o'clock. All right, hold on. All righty. So, Jesus. Yeah, so I don't know what you guys are seeing. Post in the comments if you're seeing the same thing. You know, a lot of people are just, dude. So dumb. All right, well, that's on video. This guy just keeps driving and then fucking laying on the brakes at random times, about to rear end this fucking person. Anyway, so that'd be funny. I'd like to have that documented. I wonder if that'd work against me or for me in the court case. He was filming himself. Anyway, Jesus Christ. So many people just driving terrible all of a sudden. Back to the video. How car accidents ruin relationships. No, yeah, the modern dating pool, the modern women, the way it's just a misery. Like, and that's the thing too. It's so important. Like, I really want to be like, how do you tell the truth without being, Jesus Christ, go, dude. How do you tell the truth without being like just a part of the negative crap? Like, whatever. I'll just be honest. Like, all these things that are set up right now in society and the way women are operating, like I said, no woman's going to say anything to make themselves look bad. They're not going to tell you why they left you if it's like something that's shallow. They're not going to tell you why they weren't interested in you because it's probably that's how women have always been. But now it's like there's so many different levels because of social media and these bad decisions so many women have made that make them so mean now. And you know, there's a lot of women that kind of now are waking up to just, you know, when you're 20 and you're free and you're doing, you know, just acting however the fuck you want, you know, you know, you're not going to be 20 forever. And there's so many women now that are like, and even if a woman does everything right, it's like, you gotta settle down with a guy who isn't gonna just, you know, isn't a player. And so many guys now don't trust women, so it's like, you know, I don't know. I'm going a little bit of a tangent here, but yeah, it's brutal out there. It's fucking brutal, man. But I guess it's a semi-hopeful message. Like, essentially, the message here is, if you're in a relationship, unless someone's you're punching each other in the face, like freaking, this would be a really lost reference on a lot of people, but like Don Fry and the Asian guy, and the person just drove by me as I'm doing air punches, and they like stopped and then drove. That was absolutely hilarious. Yeah, let's really Don Fry and that Asian guy in the UFC and just pile driving each other in the face. I recommend sticking together, because what you're gonna find is not a lot. And yeah, I think that's a hopeful message. I'm noticing that a lot of people, again, I know, just they're sticking it out. You know, whether it's for financial reasons, because they know there's nothing else out there. Like, it's just, people are like, oh my God, there are worse things than being around somebody that snores, and maybe they're, you know, you're not perfectly happy all the time. It's like, just, oh my God, so bad, these drivers. Yeah, so I'm seeing it, and I think that is actually kind of hopeful. People are going to, I actually think about that angle, right? You know, as we talk about the pendulum and you know, things starting to change in men's favor, which i.e. changes for society, which i.e. it just makes things better, right? When we go back to a time where, you know, it's not all, you know, women thinking they can eat your cake, have their cake and eat yours too, type of stuff. I might be quoting Joel there. Joel, great YouTuber, about this topic, but I love that saying. I think he just came up with that on the top, and I think it just came out of my brain. Yeah, so that mentality is, I think they can do that, right? It's like things will balance out, and couples, obviously there's a million factors, your age and blah, blah, blah and everything. But I think, you know, we're talking, you know, early 30s, late 20s, kind of whatever, or older. I see couples kind of going like, this works, I'm going to commit, because the alternative is chaos. And I think the subtext to this too is just like, people like are seeing the value in like building something, both for men and women. It is how we are, it's how it's supposed to, it's the healthiest relationship. Man and a woman, monogamous, and have some longevity, because the longer those really bad times, getting through those builds, just like for an individual. When you get through the bad times, it builds on your character. And the whole betrayal culture. That's essentially what poly is. Let's be freaking real. And all this crap, open relationships, you can call it whatever you want. It's the betrayal culture, scarring people to never want to care about another person again. And yeah, I think it's over. And if it's not, the people that choose to do that, it's a choice. And again, I think that's how things are going to change. I think that's how things are going to evolve. People are going to settle and not just mess around. They're going to find people that they actually want to be with. It's not going to be games. And yeah, that's basically the purpose of this video. It's kind of a hopeful message for once, that, you know, all the crazy crap going on with the ADHD and shallow and just social media giving women this like perceived value that's not real, and men's perceived value as garbage. It's just like, I think that's starting to come to an end, and people are now, you know, the people that are in relationships long term are finally doing what, you know, historically has been the case, where you see something work, you see how that their life is, and you want that, versus, you know, whether it's the immature guy who still thinks that being a player is like, and, you know, Hugh Hefner type crap is like any kind of real healthy, anything to aspire to be, which it's not. Take it from me. It's not. It's unsustainable, and it just ends up being a mess. Or you're on the other side and you're a woman and you think that your youth is going to last forever, and you can always monkey branch. You know, I would argue that's even more detrimental, and that's why it's I know I would go as far as to say that was the linchpin, the straw that broke the camel's back, the catalyst for ruined society is promiscuous women. There's a reason it's been shamed in every culture, and has nothing to do with women's rights. It has nothing to do with keeping women down or any of that. It's exactly the opposite, and now we see why. It was the psyop of all psyops to get women to believe that their value is the same as man's, and that's misogynist. Women are not men, and if we're going to pretend that they are, then what is the point of anything? Like, again, I don't want to go too far on a tangent, but women's value is different than man's. Like, if women are going to be able to just act like men and do all that stuff, then men should be not doing this at 4 times the rate, and not just society not caring about us and all these things being blamed for everything. It's like, no, our one thing that makes all that worth it is having a loyal woman. Like, and creating like a family, and having like a, you know, building, you know, that's what men want to do. We want to build, and provide and protect and sacrifice, you know. We love that. I will sacrifice everything, and I have. Just make sure you don't do it for the wrong one. It's that's where boundaries come in. Do not conflate, bros, wanting to sacrifice for someone you care about with losing yourself and forgetting about your boundaries. Because I think that's all. Yeah, I keep going back to that, but it always comes back to that. Anyway, going off a tangent, the whole thing might be making a comeback as far as the dating market. It's just going to be a different version, but yeah, I think people are waking up. I think slowly, women are, because kind of the ball's in their court. They can get guys that are broken and guys they can take advantage of and make everything 1,000 times worse, and use guys and this and that, until enough people are in pain, which I think we've reached the logical, like the climax of collective pain as far as emotional abuse, with people not being not actually being transparent with their intentions. To me, that's what it comes down to. Guy or girl, but I would argue, those Jezebels are doing a lot of damage in society and have done a lot of damage in society. So, yeah, that doesn't last forever. And, yeah, so this is a hopeful message. Couples are staying together. They're seeing what's going on. And it's hilarious that people, are all progressive and all, like it's trendy and they're trying all the, everything. There's no shame. So whatever, since no one's shaming me, like that was the one thing that kind of kept things together. If it's not against the law, it's like, well, kind of shame things that are kind of not good for society, not good for the individual, which means it's not good for society, right? And then, yeah, so people tried it out. I was one of them. And it's not worth it. People are waking up, I think. So, there's a lot of life to live. There's no reason to just make things super complicated. And it just hurts. It just, yeah. Anyway, been a little preachy in this video, but yeah, my last two videos haven't been that great. I'm working on it. I'm going to try and spend a little more time on what I'm talking about. I'm in this in-between stage of talking to the camera, like for my own, working out stuff in my mind publicly and trying to create value and content for you guys. So I'm going to start to, as I get more of my shit together, I'm going to start to be more of a value channel where it's less, I shouldn't say that definitively, but I do want to, the bottom line is value. And yeah, these last two videos I'm not super happy with, but like I said, everything's getting posted. I'm going to just keep being a transparent bloke out here in the webosphere. And if you join my face in this monotone voice and this subpar content, it's only going to get worse. No, it's only going to get better. So I appreciate so far the kind words and people that have said that keep them coming, and I appreciate you, and people that have commented. So yeah, I'm going to try and keep building on this channel. It's really what I got right now, so why not build on, you gotta build something, right? All right, guys, that's the end of this one. Let me know what you wanted to talk about in the comments. Like, subscribe if you want to see more content, and yeah, have a great day. Cheers, guys.